A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to Nerf Secrets Revealed, part 5 of 6 of this 6-part episode right here. And I feel like this is going to be a pretty interesting subject to say the least, because, as it turns out, Nerf could one day be going bankrupt because of the fact that, well, there was an article online that we had recently put our eyes on, and it was published on April 6th of 2019. So it was about 2 weeks ago, really. I'll put a link down to that article in the description box below so you can give a read on it. But with avoiding plagiarism and the like, I would just like to go right ahead and cover every basic aspect as to what this article covers. So here we go. What this article tells us is that Nerf could one day be sidetracked for good, thanks to other brands including Zuru X-Shot blasters, Buzzbee, and the like, of which that are becoming a much more cheaper and therefore a much more beneficial addition to one's blaster collection. Because even though Nerf has been the biggest, best-selling brand in the history of toy guns, we've had ourselves some fair shares of debate and contradiction as to what merchandising could lead to Nerf's ultimate doom. Now, Nerf's ultimate doom might still be quite a ways to go, but yet, just to think about what could happen to Nerf one day, it could really upset us all, because of the fact that Nerf has been such a big hobby of ours over the last 25 years. And now, here in more recent times with Nerf getting sidetracked, just straight out, by other brands, like Zuru, Buzzbee, Spitballers, even though we don't really see much of the spitball shooters anymore. I really think that at any given point in time now, Nerf could end up one day be sitting on the chopping block, and then one day Nerf itself could go out of business. This is very similar, in fact, to what has happened to where we've had ourselves a lot of things go down. We've had ourselves the video game crash of 1983, and eventually, we've had ourselves two big competitors, Nintendo and Sega, rise up from the ashes and take over and create the biggest gaming war of all time. The Angry Video Game Nerd, of course, explains more about that than I ever would, so it's best if we just left it to James D. Rolfe to explain everything about the video game crash of '83. But going more recently, we've had ourselves, of course, some other big crashes. Of course, we've had ourselves the times where Nerf has actually gone into competition with itself, based on every kind of lineup or sub-lineup that it has released over the last decade or so. I've made a whole episode about it. That's just how unbelievable it seems to be by today's standards. And now, going forward to about how Nerf could one day end up sitting on the curb one day, it would just be unbelievable. It could be devastating to many of us around here to see one of our favorite toy gun brands out there finally be destroyed for good, thanks to other competitors out there and other companies out there that are eager to try to find out how well Nerf can survive in these grueling conditions. Nerf does, in fact, continue to try to sell their blasters at prices above the reasonable rate, whereas other companies out there would sell their blasters at a reasonable rate or even below. They would try to make their blasters as cheap as possible just for the sake of our budget, for the sake of our spendings, really. And I, for one, would sure agree just to have something put in place. Everything here would fall into place. Now, it just seems that Nerf right now could end up a piece of bankruptcy. It could end up a business that's out for good. And similarities with many other businesses that we've had. We've had a lot of defunct companies out there within the past 95 years or so. And we do miss them a lot. We've had a lot of soda companies, car companies, we've had ourselves manufacturing companies, toy brands, everything out there that we've known throughout our whole lives, we have gotten to know about, but then eventually one day they would just leave us. I, for one, have gotten to know about how Atari became a very big game selling franchise, a big company out there. But now, Atari's practically biting the dust, with companies like Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft, and others out there. We've got ourselves not too big of a game area right here. But, any ways though, I just sure as heck hope that you just bear with me here in these times to where Nerf could end up one day become out of business. Thanks to this article, we now know that it could one day be true, because Nerf does continue to sell their blasters at a somewhat expensive price for each one, whereas with Zuru X-Shot, with Exploders, with other toy gun brands out there that we've known as well, they do continue to sell their products much cheaper. And so therefore, this will lead to contradiction and will eventually lead to contribution based on what Nerf's future could hold if it continues to grow at this rate. I can say for sure that Nerf could one day be meeting doom at certain points in time. Although it's not happening right now, it's just safe to say that anything could happen to Nerf by now. Anything could happen to any company that you know of. But I hope you just stick with me here, because I know Nerf Secrets Revealed is just not going to end. Not anytime. For now. But yeah, this is part 5 of 6, and if you want to see more, go down to my channel. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.